What's the deal, guys? It's Mr. Legit. Welcome back to the channel. Hey, it's Wednesday. You know what we do on Wednesday. You know what the deal is. It's What's the Deal Wednesday. Hey man, so over the week, since the last video, we had this guy named Fritz, right? I know you're watching this too, Fritz. So what he said was, he basically said, yo, thanks for the help and thanks for the videos. You're legit. If you ever get a chance, make a video on marketing for the beginner's point, right? So what he's saying is basically he wants a video for the beginner or marketer. Now, I'm not going to go into detail on all the avenues of marketing because it would take super long time. So basically, I can't even talk to you guys. I'm going to need a whiteboard for this one. And we got a problem because I don't even think we have any whiteboards that are hung up here in the office. But let's go out there and see what we can find, guys. Come on. All right, so here's how I first started marketing my business, right? It was actually indirect marketing. So the very first thing I did was I went down to I'm just gonna put FB for phone book. I went down and went to Dext or whatever it was called at the time. I went down there and got in the phone book, and they're like, how big of an ad do you want? I think I spent $200 for a business card size in the phone book. And let me tell you guys, it was absolutely atrocious. I think I got 2 phone calls all year long, and it was myself, and I know what I was getting. So if this was in 2011, nobody was using the dang phone book, but I didn't know. They straight up sold me, right? So take my hat off to those guys. But so phone book, I realized I didn't want to do that anymore, right? But even before that year was up, the next thing I did, a business card. The business card is another big thing that I hope most of you guys have right now. I would imagine 99.99% of anybody, if you're a contractor watching this, that you have a business card, right? So I got the business card, but really this didn't really help me because I wasn't in front of people. It couldn't really, I didn't have leads coming in. So the next thing that I did, right, Craigslist, believe it or not, I was a Craigslist hustler. I went to Craigslist and started putting ads all over Craigslist like every day. I think back then it was free to do. Now it costs you a little bit of money, but I had leads on Craigslist, and Craigslist people were really hard to deal with, and they're very cheap. I don't know why, it was just that way. But I did make some money. I was super cheap when I started out, but Craigslist was definitely helped me out. Then I started getting some money, right? I'm like, oh my gosh, I started getting some money. Then I told my friends about I had a business, right? I told the friends and they told their friends, so it's indirect because they're directly calling me up. All they have to do is tell my friend to have a business. And what happened was I got hooked up with the builder, and he was building homes, so now I had some pretty steady income. I didn't have any employees at the time. I was just doing all new construction. It was just, I was working 7 days a week, just tons of hours, but really helped me bring some bucks in. Then I had a little bit of money, right? Then I could afford a logo. Once I had money, I could get a logo, and I paid my neighbor like $500 to make me the very first logo, not even the generation logo that you see on here. It's an older logo. It was very similar, but we got the logo, and the logo kind of, once I got that, I could blast it anywhere I wanted. I was super excited about it because then we bought, shirts, hats, you name it. I started putting that stuff everywhere, right? And at this time, I was still kind of making, this is all indirect. I was just kind of like, didn't really understand the direct side, but some really good places to also indirect marketing are on your van, putting the logos on your vehicles, right? Vehicles are a really good way. Now, you got to kind of be careful with doing this. If you're a subcontractor, the generals don't really want you, wrapped up. Just kind of be careful about it. You might lose some of those people if you come out there and you're wrapped up with your stuff, because they typically don't like that. All right, so indirect marketing, a few other ways. I don't want to make this video too long, but let's talk about direct. So direct marketing, the first thing that I did, HS, for home shows, right? So I went to the home show because I saw other people around me, how they were marketing. I heard they were going to these home shows. So went to the home shows, had a couple of my friends over at the home show, some good looking girls, you know what I mean? Had them in there with some skimpy tops. And really, we had a lot of people that were coming up, and we were giving away free stuff or whatever, candy and whatever we had. I didn't really know what the best way to do it, but I was like, hey, I need some good looking people. Like, boom, what you see, right? And then the leads started pouring in. Honestly, I think I had like 25 leads. And out of those 25 leads, guess how many I closed? Yep, no. Hey, the guy in the back right here, hand up, yeah. 0, man. I didn't close anything, right? I didn't know how to sell because I was just trying to market, right? I was a roofer. I was really heavy in production. Started learning how to market, and this was, I think, about a year and a half into my first direct marketing. Because this stuff, people had the difference between indirect and direct is indirect. People already have time to look you up. I already had my website up here, right? So the website was already in here. You know, I can't remember everything, but I did have the website in here. So people that heard about you from the vehicles and the hats and you know, referrals are really big too. They already know who you are, right? So it's easier to sell when somebody's calling your phone. But when you're going out and you're asking for them, for their information, right? Because home shows, you're asking for them. You gotta almost hoax them in. It's like going to a carnival or something, you know, and they're like, hey, come play this game and all that stuff. That's kind of the way what we do out there, right? We try to get them in, their information in. And what do we do with the information? We call them up, right? Telemarketing, right? So we had my very first telemarketer at the time. She was actually an office manager / telemarketer. She wasn't really a true born telemarketing. I didn't understand telemarketing at this point. I barely understood home shows, but all I did know is these leads were pouring in from these home shows, and I was just blown away. So I'm not going to get into how I learned to sell and all that stuff, but I will just get into, you know, how I got the leads, right? Because this is all about leads, right? Generating leads. So we got the telemarketer, and then she actually told me, she was like, hey, one of my friends, he used to canvas before, right? So he canvassed before, and I was super skeptical about hiring this canvasser because I didn't really I couldn't trust him because I didn't know how to canvas. A, B, could I really trust somebody just being out in the field and you know, just walking around and driving the vehicle? Are they going to be working? Are they not? I didn't know how to gauge how much leads you were supposed to have, how many doors there were supposed to knock, closing percentages, pitch percentages. I didn't understand any of that stuff, right? So, but what I did understand is I wanted more what, right? I wanted more money. So I took a chance with the money that I was already making with the canvassing. Once I went out there for the very first day with that canvasser, I think we knocked for about 2 hours. And I had done it, but I didn't understand the closing percentage. He was just on a way different level, right? So we went out there, and this dude probably got like 3 leads within the first couple hours. This guy, granted, you're not gonna be doing that every time. This guy was phenomenal. And those 3 leads were not confirmed, which is a whole different side of this. Because you have telemarketer, you have cold callers, cold call, you have rehash, you have confirmation. So there's different levels in the telemarketing world, right? Rehash, that means that you've already been to a lead and you're just calling them back. So if you guys ever run a lead, keep that information, put it in your database. If you don't do that, you are failing. Cold calls, those are people kind of like canvassers. They've never talked to you and they're calling about. Then you have the confirmation department. When all these guys, all these leads come in from everywhere, the confirmation is confirming the appointment to make sure that it's okay for the sales rep to go out, because the sales rep just doesn't want to go out to a house and there's nobody home, there's nobody there, we can't even get up on the roof, right? So this is kind of in a nutshell, right, how we market. Maybe what I'll do is hit one of these every now and then in a video here and there, right? But realistically though, when you're training on each division, it's literally a day or two. It could be, it's 5 days training for a telemarketer for your basic cold caller to come in, right? It's 5 days for your canvasser to come in. There's no way I can train you guys 5 days on the camera. But what I can tell you guys is kind of how we operate, how we do things, right? But I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you guys have any questions, make sure to leave it below. I'd really appreciate it. I know it took a little bit longer. I could talk a little bit more. But I hope I answered your question. What was that, Fritz, man? So yeah, man, you guys have a good day. I'm out of here. Peace.